Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing another video by the channel Be Amazed. This time we're going to be reacting to one called American Things Europeans Can't Understand. As always, the links to the original video will be in the description section down below, so make sure you go check that out. And we're going to jump into it and find out what these American things are that Europeans cannot understand.
While the culture of the United States is exported all over the world in films and on TV, it also abides by some laws and practices that many consider unusual. Europeans in particular seem to have a hard time wrapping their heads around some of them. From child beauty pageants to gun laws, let's take a look at some American things that Europeans can't understand.
In all fairness, though, some of this stuff I don't understand either. So, like the child beauty pageants and the gun laws. So, hey, we'll see.
Sick of commercials. If you're a European enjoying a cozy night in on the couch in America, some of the stuff on TV may shock and surprise you. And no, I'm not talking about Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm talking about commercials, which arrive so frequently it makes watching TV feel almost unbearable to anyone unaccustomed to it.
Seals links instantly. Use it on
Especially pharmaceutical commercials, which usually show grumpy men and women turned into smiling, happy people by the product being sold. These are usually followed by an almost comically long list of potential side effects spoken at double speed.
Yeah, this is definitely a thing, but this is more like just your regular network kind of television with your regular commercials. I don't personally watch regular network television even anymore. I just watch YouTube videos or, Netflix or Hulu kind of stuff. But yeah, these commercials, though, are definitely hilarious.
Usually followed by an almost comically long list of potential side effects spoken at double speed, like Ambien ad.
As well as abnormal behaviors such as being more outgoing or aggressive than normal, confusion, agitation, and hallucinations may occur. Don't take it with alcohol as it may increase these behaviors. Allergic reactions such as shortness of breath, swelling of your tongue or throat may occur and in rare cases may be fatal. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. In patients with depression, worsening of depression including risk of suicide may occur.
These types of direct-to-consumer commercials peddle prescription drugs, which is an advertising standard that was rejected by the European Commission back in 2002.
Yeah, and they do it double speed because they have to list the side effects. But there's a lot and they all suck. So they try to double speed, just try to get it over as quick as possible.
The commission stated that pharmaceutical companies were unable to provide impartial information on their medicines. If that's the case, why is it practiced in America? To put it simply, there's simply never been a federal law passed to outlaw the practice.
Because in America, they profit from the medicine. That's why they charge so damn much for it. You go to Europe, something might cost you 8, 10 euros, right? Over here, maybe $300-400 or the equivalent to euros or whatever, right?
This is in no small part thanks to the fact that direct-to-consumer drugs and their accompanying ads are a huge business. And in America, whether it's right or wrong, the rules tend to follow the money.
Yep.
Europeans might actually need a pill for the headache all those ads give them. May cause dizziness, loss of limbs, telepathic powers, and a violent hatred of cheese. No place like home. Let's say you're a European who's just moved over to America. You found a house in a nice residential neighborhood and you're going through your bills. Rent, water, gas, electric, all seems in order. But wait a second. What's a homeowners association fee? To a native, that's a pretty obvious question. But for Europeans, it's an unwelcome surprise.
I personally don't even 100% know what that is. I don't own a home, and I've never really cared to dive into the homeowners association situation. It didn't apply to me, so I've heard of it. Don't quite know what it is.
These fees contributes to the local homeowners association, which is somewhat like a neighborhood watch, but managing funds to be reinvested into the community. It goes towards things like residential maintenance and common spaces, which keeps residents happy and property values up. With around 24% of all Americans living under a homeowners association, they pay $200 to $300 on average per month in fees to these entities. Now,
$200 to $300 a month. I can watch my own house. I don't need no neighborhood watch to $200 to $300 a month. Get out of here.
$200 to $300 on average per month in fees to these entities. Now,
Get a
while
camera.
some Europeans might struggle with this concept, it was a form of governance that was actually invented by France back in 1804. The condominium law was exported to the US, where it became incredibly popular. So, for any European that wants
Yeah, but evidently they stopped doing it in France because to Europeans, it is not normal. So France stopped doing it. Why in the hell are we still doing it, right? Come on now.
exported to the US, where it became incredibly popular. So, for any European that wants to complain about homeowner regulations and fees, feel free to blame the French.
Blame Americans for not stopping it. We just kept doing it.
Vacant vacation days. The USA has one of the largest economies in the world. A tremendous economy, in the president's words. But Europeans looking to get into the American world of work are often shocked when it comes to vacation time. US workers are not entitled to mandatory paid vacation at all. Usually the issue of paid leave is left at
Yeah.
the discretion of employers. And yet,
Yeah, and then you gotta like see, yeah, in Europe, you know, you get your work contract or whatever, right? Then you're entitled to you know, a certain amount of pay, right? Or a certain amount of like vacation times, holiday time, right? Over here you have to work like an entire year to qualify. They don't even have to give you any, I don't think. Most places give you like a week, I think. But then you have to like beg and beg and beg, it seems like, to even get it approved. They don't want to give you the time. They always make you feel like a bad guy for even asking about taking your vacation time. It's a whole thing. It's definitely a different situation for sure.
yes, that does include national holidays. According to research from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2017, only 77% of American workers had access to paid vacation. Now, the reason that might leave Europeans slack-jawed is because mandatory paid vacation time in Europe starts at 4 weeks. In fact, America is one of the only Western countries where law doesn't enforce companies to give its employees mandatory paid vacation time. Don't believe me? Take a look at this map breaking down mandatory paid vacation time by country. Only the great countries are known not to give paid time off.
Yeah. Why? Right? Like why? Why is it like that?
It's a working culture that undoubtedly favors employers over employees. Americans might want to think about learning Chinese instead, as employers in China must legally offer 5 days of holiday. Although that is after one continuous year of work. Win some, lose some, I guess. Florida man.
After a year. Well, that's how it is here. If you do get it, you have to work like a whole year. You know, it depends on the company. And again, it's not required. So, you know, good luck with that.
If the American states could be looked at as a dysfunctional family, then Florida would be the weird uncle who once ran away with the circus and wrestled a tiger. The
Yeah.
Sunshine State is the third most populous state in the USA and receives over 100 million visitors year on year. With so many
Third most populous. So New York City, like New York is not. Very interesting. I mean, New York has a massive population. I could have swore. I mean, I would have thought New York would have been in the top 3, right?
away with the circus and wrestled a tiger. The Sunshine State is the third most populous state in the USA and
Popular or populous? It's a big difference.
wrestled a tiger. The Sunshine State is the third most populous state in the USA and receives over 100 million visitors year on year. With so many people living between Miami Beach, Disneyland, and Pensacola, a little crazy is bound to be found on the fringes of society. But what
True.
Europeans aren't prepared for are the crazy antics of Floridians that make daily headlines. From Florida,
Look at this
are
guy.
the crazy antics
He got half his beard shaved off. What in the world is even going? Okay.
of Floridians that make daily headlines. From Florida man believed that he was half man, half dog in March 2019 to Florida man robs bank, strips naked, then runs down the street throwing stolen money everywhere in July 2017. You can search the internet for almost any day of the year and find a headline announcing Florida man has committed an utterly baffling crime. There doesn't seem
Did you
announcing Florida man
look at these pictures down here? Wow. I mean, that's all I gotta say is wow. That's okay.
Has committed an utterly baffling crime. There doesn't seem to be an equivalent for any European countries, although the UK comes close with some of its questionable journalism topics like
Britain's fattest woman ate fridge and died.
Let me know the funniest local headlines you've ever seen at stories@bmas.com.
It's because there's a lot of drugs in Florida, I think. I don't know. I don't live in Florida. I'm glad I don't, but it seems like there might be.
Bat trouble. In Europe, like most of the world, tax is built into the price of items in-store and online. So what you see on the tag is what you pay.
Yeah, I heard about that. I wish it was like that here, because here it depends on what state you're in too. Like here, it's like in Indiana, it's 7%, but like it doesn't count towards like certain food products. Like certain food products, they won't charge tax on it, but then other stuff, it'll be 7%. You go to like Michigan, it's like 6%. So like, you know, so it depends on the state that you're in, and it's confusing.
But Europeans visiting an American store might be left doing a double take at their bill when they reach the register. There is no national sales tax or value-added tax in America. Instead, American taxes differ by jurisdiction, of which there are around 7,000. Differences in these local rates, state taxes, or combined state and local taxes means that final prices for the same item can differ from one street to the next. For first-time shoppers in the U.S., this unpleasant surprise is a rite of passage that no one asked for.
Yeah.
Tipping point. A meal at a restaurant can be a real treat, but Europeans visiting America sometimes stress about the tip. Although tipping anywhere up to 20% seems normal to most Americans, there's no such obligation in Europe. Indeed, it's mostly seen as a bonus reward for good service, and in some European countries, it's even considered rude and excessive to leave a tip.
I feel like it should be like that. It should be a bonus for good service earned. That's it. You know, because you get people running around being entitled about it and just giving you shit service, just being rude, tables dirty. You got to wait around for the longest time just to get their attention. You're trying to get get their attention to get a refill on a drink or order dessert or get your check or whatever. And they just disregard your existence. Like just simply do not care. But then they turn around, they want or expect a tip. And it's like, to me, you probably didn't earn one. Really, you've done nothing but piss me off while I'm trying to have an enjoyable meal. You know, and they feel entitled. It sucks because it's set up to where they have to like almost rely on the tips. You know, so again, you would think that they'd be a little bit nicer sometimes so that it would earn it. But I don't know. I feel like it'd be just a lot nicer if you just didn't have to worry about the whole tip situation, or if it was just flat out, did you earn it or not? Because when I don't feel like somebody earned it, I don't want to give them a decent tip. And then if I don't, then I feel like an asshole because I didn't, because everybody's like, oh, but you didn't give 15 or 20%. Well, why should I? They didn't even give me 15% of their effort in trying to give me the service that I'm paying for. You know what I mean? So it's a whole thing.
The American federal government, however, states that tips can be used to satisfy the difference between the employee's hourly wage and the standard minimum wage.
How about you just pay them the damn minimum wage? Problem solved. Simple. That's fair. Pay them a wage. Don't rely on the customers to make up the difference.
This means food servers, valets, and in-house staff in certain states can be working for a federal wage of just $2.13 per hour.
Yeah,
which is about €1.96. So if you're a European visitor to the States, get ready to factor in your tip to the overall price of your meal. You might well be contributing to a struggling waiter's rent. Child beauty pageants. If you've ever been unfortunate enough to have watched an episode of Toddlers and Tiaras on TLC, I think you might side with the Europeans on the next matter. Child beauty pageants are common across America and usually consist of dolled-up little girls being thrust onto a stage to entertain a crowd of screaming moms.
Very strange.
It's truly bizarre. But what's equally strange is how the craze got started. Child pageants originated from American Better Baby contests in the early 20th century.
Better
Babies would be
baby.
scored on characteristics like weight, quality of skin, and face shape, supposedly in the name of helping to educate mothers on best practices for healthy babies. But of course, it wasn't just for education purposes. There were also cash rewards and trophies for top-ranking toddlers. This has slowly devolved into the bedazzled tradition of pushing a child on stage in full makeup and styled hair to do a dance routine for
Very
prize money.
strange.
Although some European countries host similar but smaller events, others like France have gone as far as to ban all such pageants, claiming they're an unhealthy way to treat young girls. If you ask me, their general creepiness alone should be enough to slam the brakes on child beauty pageants.
It's not. You're not like what are you trying to prepare them for? Right? Like, what kind of future are you trying to... It's probably not good for their mental health. Like, I don't even know. We're just going to skip past that one, guys.
Honey boo boo, no thanks. Size is everything. According to an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. But if you're a European, you'll probably think that about all of America, right down to its people. It's no secret that America has a little bit of a weight problem. 2/3 of American adults classify as overweight, and it's estimated that almost 40% of adults in the U.S. aged 20 and over are obese. Contrasted to Europe, where a survey carried out in 2014 labeled just 15% of adults obese. That's a king-size difference.
That is.
A side of fries. The American tendency to overeat might have something to do with portion sizes in the States. A study comparing portions in Paris and Philadelphia revealed food outlet portions were 25% larger in Philly. And a review of 17 different single-serve foods like yogurt and candy bars found that 14 of them were bigger in Philadelphia. While a one state to one country comparison doesn't necessarily represent the whole, Europeans on social media often comment on how much bigger everything seems stateside.
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on. That's not your standard. You're not just going to go to the store and be like, yeah, or go to the restaurant and order a normal pizza or like whatever that thing is there in the middle. And just, that's like the XL extra large jumbo version anyways. That's not your standard sizes. The pizza, that's like an extra large for sure. And the sandwich there on the left, that might just be close to the camera, she's holding it closer. Maybe it looks bigger. I don't know.
Have you noticed this difference in portion sizes? Let me know in the comments below. Bonus points for food puns.
Bonus points.
Oh, sugar. Living in America can really give you a taste for the sweet life. But
oh, yeah. Like and subscribe, guys. Have a super fun, awesome day, it says.
But your teeth won't thank you for it. Why? Well, some American foods and drinks have been found to contain huge amounts of sugar compared to their European equivalents. Some common bread brands contain up to 6 grams of sugar per serving, 6 times the amount found in European counterparts. But it doesn't end there.
Now, I wonder, can you get a European-style bread here with only the 1 gram of sugar? I want to see what the different, how does that taste?
Taking a look at Pizza Hut's sugar content reveals most of their stateside pizzas have close to double the amount of sugar per slice as European versions. And in Starbucks, a UK venti white chocolate mocha will contain 62.4 grams of sugar. But in America, that shoots up to 72 grams. I've heard of sweetening the deal, but any Europeans making the trip across the Atlantic might leave suffering from the toothache.
72 grams of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. I knew that they were sweet, but I did not know that there was that much sugar in it. That is crazy.
Gaps in the market. European standards of building a public restroom involve plenty of privacy.
I got gaps on my teeth. I know that.
Gaps in the market. European standards of building a public restroom involve plenty of privacy, mainly in the form of cubicles with doors that are more door than gap. Seems obvious, but it's a standard that Americans just can't seem to adopt. With ridiculously large gaps at the top, bottom, and sides, it makes for a truly uncomfortable first visit to an American toilet for...
You don't take a dump in a public restroom. I don't. First of all, the gaps. If you don't care about the gaps, that's cool. They're disgusting. You don't want to put your butt cheeks on those disgusting foul toilets. Nobody cleans them. Everybody pees all over them. Oh, it's rancid. You hold it till you get home. That's what I do. Unless it's an emergency, just saying.
And sides, it makes for a truly uncomfortable first visit to an American toilet for unwitting visitors. On their first time, Europeans are left feeling especially susceptible to unwelcome visitors and peeping Toms. Some people even resort to taping up the gap to prevent prying eyes looking in. But as strange as the design seems, there are some theories as to why Americans build their stalls this way.
So who carries tape around with them to tape the door gaps up when they're going to the bathroom in the public, like the rare chance that you're actually going to be using the public restroom to be sitting there taking a dump, and you're just going to carry tape on you for that incident to just tape up the doors? Who does this? What did they do? Where did they get the research at?
As strange as the design seems, there are some theories as to why Americans build their stalls this way. For a start, high floor gaps allow for easier cleaning, and they do make it simpler to pass toilet paper from one cubicle to another.
Laziness. You wouldn't have to pass toilet paper to one cubicle to the next if the janitor did their damn job and kept the toilet paper stocked. So it's about laziness. So the janitor don't have to stock their toilet paper. You can just pass it through, and that they can get their job cleaned easier, even though they don't even clean it in the first place half the time. Like,
on top of that, the vertical gaps act as a deterrent for anyone thinking of doing anything naughty behind closed doors.
They're so disgusting of a bathroom, you would not want to do anything like that in there anyways. So,
But there's always the chance you might accidentally get a real eyeful. Maybe just close your eyes before entering any American restrooms.
Just don't look. Just don't stare at the gaps. Just ignore it. Simple. Nobody else is just looking through at you. Promise. Nobody wants to see that.
Triggered. It strikes many Europeans as a bit odd that in America you can pick up your groceries from one aisle of a store and a gun from another. Indeed, you can buy guns over the counter in places like Walmart, and ammo can be found in pharmacies.
I mean, you got to get your permit. You got to get all checked out and background checks and everything. You can't just go in there and just anybody just get a gun. Like they make sure. I mean, yeah, they shouldn't have it like that though.
But seeing as guns are still legal in many parts of Europe, what is it that Europeans find weird about the gun-loving, rifle-wielding, Second Amendment-touting American citizen? It might have something to do with America's gun-related death rate, seeing as per capita, there were 12 gun-related deaths for every 100,000 people in America in 2017. Very few European countries exceed 3 gun-related deaths per 100,000 people, and none even come close to America's 12 per 100,000. The causes of the problem are fiercely debated, but it might have something to do with how easy it is to buy a gun. Background checks are usually carried out, but a research survey from Harvard in 2015 estimated that a third of American gun owners have purchased a firearm without a background check. In Europe, many countries like Austria and Germany require would-be gun owners to go through a rigorous 7-step procedure before owning a gun. High-caliber handguns are outright banned in the UK, and many categories of semi-automatic weapons are illegal to own across Europe. It's simply much harder to legally purchase a gun in Europe than it is in the US, which I'm sure is a trigger point for some. Have you noticed?
A trigger point for some. Alright guys, the original channel was Be Amazed. You can find the links to the original video in the description section down below. Make sure you go over there and hit like on their video. Is there anything else that you Europeans find weird about America? Let me know. Just like it says right here, have a super fun, awesome day. Hit like, hit subscribe. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Later.